friends. Welcome back. Um, and for those that are new here, welcome. I'm Lizette. This is Lily So New York. And today we are going to talk about uh, the cardigan that I am currently working on. Um, like I've stated before uh, in previous vlogs, um, I started this whole journey back in January in hopes of making a Valentine's Day cardigan to wear. I am an intermediate, or I like to think myself an intermediate crocheter. Um, but this sweater has definitely uh, made me feel like a beginner. Um, we have had um, quite a few challenges that we have come across. Um, but I am holding steadfast to completing her, however that may be, and however she decides to evolve and come out looking. Um, as you can see, I'm only midway through finishing the the bottom portion or the uh, ribbing the bottom portion of the sweater. Um, I have had quite the challenge with that ribbing. I have seen so many other sweaters with ribbing, and it kind of brings the sweater together. It ties it all in and it makes it look finished and beautiful. And that's what I was hoping for with the ribbing on this sweater. I could have left it as she was, but I really wanted to try the ribbing because I really like it. And so she's almost done. It is quite a lot to do. Um, with regards to the ribbing, I didn't think it was going to be so difficult. Um, but as you can see here, um, this ribbing, um, it's a whole lot better than what it originally was, which I will show you in a little while. I will show you the clips of um, the footage I take of the difficulties or of what I come across when I'm making her. Um, so the ribbing did not look like this at all. Um, I was having troubles with the ribbing um, and with the cuffs. Now the cuff is, you can't see it in this video, but again, I will show you um, in a in the footage. I will show you the differences. You'll be able to see it. Um, but it has been quite a challenge, and right now she is still attached to so she's not completed. She has she has quite a bit to go, as you can see in the back. I have still to go all the way back around to this side. So she's um she's almost done. We still have to do the front band, um and I am thinking that I want to redo the cuffs because they do not look anything like this. I was having trouble with the ribbing, um, and I was trying to figure out what I was doing wrong, and I couldn't figure it out. Um, I tried her on, and I didn't like the way the ribbon was looking. It was, which I don't recall, I don't recall, uh, actually, I don't recall taking footage of me trying it on, but it looked like a stiff peplum, and that's not what I was going for. And so I had to take it all out. Now I was pretty far along, and so to have to frog the entire thing, like literally scrap it and start all over again. And we're talking about, I don't know, maybe 2 days worth of crocheting. Um, and I had to pull it. I had to get it, get rid of it. I had to frog it. And so, I then started it again. But before I started it, I wanted to, um, which is recommended, for beginners and intermediate people such as myself. Um, it's it's uh, it's recommended to do like a swatch, and so yeah, I should have done that. Um, in the sewing community, we're encouraged to do like a muslin, which is like a test run of whatever project you're on. So yeah, I should have done a swatch of the ribbing, and I didn't. I was so excited, I jumped right into it. Um, but it did not come out the way I thought it was supposed to come out, and so, or the way I would have wanted it to come out. And so then I proceeded to again frog it, and then I did swatches. Um, so I made swatches to determine how it is that I wanted it to look, because there are some ribbings where it is single crochet, double crochet, slip stitch, and a half crochet, if I'm not mistaken. And so, of course, there's the method, and then there's the tension that you apply to it, and then there's also the hook. So um, all of these variables take place with regards to how something is going to come out. And so I literally had to test it. And so I tested, I was using with the squares, I was using a five, five, I think it was a five. Yeah, it was a 5 millimeter hook. And then, so when I was testing the, the swatches, I had to test them with all of them because I didn't know which one was going to be better. So, um, from the videos that from the YouTube videos that I, went down the rabbit hole of ribbing, it was explained that you should go down one size or maybe half a size, um, depending on how you wanted the ribbing to look. So, because I was using a five, um, I then went down to a a four. I went down to a four, and that's okay. Yes. So I was using a five, and I went down to a four, and I started the ribbing, and that's why the ribbing was looking absolutely. It looked horrible to me. I did not like the way it was looking, and I don't know. Maybe I was. applying too, like I was doing it too tight. Um, but it did not look at all like ribbing. It just looked like a matted mess. So then I, you know, frogged it, and then I said, well, a 4 is not the size that I should be using for this. So I went up one. I went up to a 4.5. And so I did the swatches with the 4.5, and I applied less tension to it. And it came out the way I wanted it to look. Now, also, I noticed that I was not using the back loop. You can use the back loop, the front loop, or both. And I don't know. Um, I think I wasn't, I don't think I was using the proper loops. Like I wasn't really paying attention to what loop I was going through. And that really does make a difference. Like if you are looking at it from above and you place it, facing you upward, but facing you, and you see the front loops are towards you and the back loops are on the opposite side. Um, that's the way you should crochet it. So if you twist it, if you go through the front loop in one and the back loop in the other, it's going to look nuts. And so I wasn't paying attention to any of that. And so when I did the swatches, I became more focused on of what I was doing. I paid more attention to what I was doing. And so it is coming out a little better, although it's still looking like a peplum to me. But I'm just gonna have to go with however she wants to look at this point. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to frog it again, and I'm just gonna continue on with it with with the this ribbing, um, and finish it around, and then start the front band of it, which will be smaller because the gap is smaller. And I don't know yet. I am not, I should say, I'm not certain whether I would like to add buttons and buttonholes. I may not, but that's still debatable. I'm not sure about that as of yet with in the filming of this vlog. I'm not sure whether I want to make the buttonholes for the front. I don't know if I want to continue to complicate my life. Let's just put it that way. I will say that I also made the mistake of again not paying attention, and I started this ribbing and I ended up doing it this way. And so, excuse me. And so then I, again, I got to a certain spot, and I checked it, and I was just like, what is going on here? So then I lifted her up, and then I noticed that the peplum, I mean, that you see peplum, that the ribbing was going in the wrong direction. Oh my word! And so then I had to frog it again, and um, start all over again. So once again, just like with the shoulders, three times is the charm. This is the third attempt at making the ribbing at the bottom of the sweater. Right now, it is looking the way more or less how I would want it to look. Um, but it has been quite the journey. I will say that. Um, I don't know when she will be finished. She is um, she is definitely a labor of love. Um, I do want to potentially do the cuffs again, and once those three things are completed, then the sweater is completed. But um, I don't know what to say. Like, I was hoping that the experience would have been a little bit easier, but apparently not. I mean, I will say that you do learn from your mistakes, um, as in life, right? Whenever you have challenges, um, you want to throw in the towel in regards to this. You just want to make it a whip and just toss it aside and let's just move on to something else. But I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do that. Um, I'm definitely going to finish her whenever that is, whether it's Easter, Mother's Day, I don't know, Juneteenth, 4th of July, I don't know. At some point, she will be finished and I will do a little dance and be very happy that she is done. Um, she has definitely taught me a lot of do's and don'ts. Um, but I will now just show you the clips of me trying to figure her out, and so that you can see and follow along with the progress of making this um, Valentine's Day sweater. All right, guys. So I have attached the cuff to the sleeves, and so now what I am doing is a row of stitches of single crochet stitches around the edge so that I can start on the ribbing or around the bottom part and the front part of the sweater. So I'm doing these rows of stitches so that the ribbing is even, because all these different granny squares, um, I don't want the ribbing to look wonky, I guess, or uneven. So I'm doing a row of single crochet stitches um, along the border so that I can start the ribbing around the bottom part and then the front part of the sweater. All right, it's coming along. The nightmare continues as I now have to frog all of this because this is where I messed up. I messed up a stitch right here. If you can see, it's uneven. And now I have to undo all of this. in order to get back to where that messed up and do it all over again. I feel like I'm never going to finish this sweater. Oh, Lord. Hey guys, so I don't know if some of you may be able to understand the levels of my frustration. Um, and it has been quite a journey with this sweater, particularly with this ribbing. Now, I showed you in my video footage how the first one came out. It came out very matted, and I just didn't understand what was going on with it. It did not look like this at all. I don't know what was going on, but I was midway through, midway through on one panel, and I couldn't take it. I didn't like the way it looked, and so I had to do it again. It kind of looked like this, which if you can see, this and this are not the same. So I'm going to have to take the cuff off and do it again because I don't like the way that looks. I like the way this looks. It's even, and you can tell that it's ribbed. It looks like an accordion almost. Um, but I'm trying not to be discouraged because I really want to see this sweater to completion, because it's not the only sweater that I want to um, it's not the only sweater that I want to do. There's another sweater that I would like to make after this one. So maybe it'll be 2 sweaters for the year. I don't know. Um, but at least 2 sweaters for the year is better than nothing, um, in my opinion. So, um, I'm not a master at crocheting um, very quickly, to and spitting out sweaters, once a month, but at least, 2 sweaters for the year would be an accomplishment for me anyway. Friends, I will leave you here, um, and we will continue with my ribbing, and hopefully we will have this portion of the sweater anyway, done by, I'm hoping, uh, you know, by this, today is Monday. I'm hoping that by Wednesday or Thursday, I have the bottom part completed. Um, I don't know if that is the hope, that by Wednesday or Thursday it is completed and I am moving on to another part of the sweater. So I will keep you posted. Wish me luck. Bye. Okay, guys. Well, as you can see through the footage, the clips of what was transpiring with the ribbing, you could see that there were challenges that were taking place, and it wasn't an easy uh, situation, but I am not discouraged. As with all things, you know, practice is needed, patience, um, and unfortunately, mistakes are going to happen in order for us to learn and grow from them. So, um, she has definitely been a labor of love. Um, And, regardless of whether I get to wear her now or in the fall, um, she will get completed. I am not so discouraged that I will not continue on with crocheting. I will definitely continue on um, crocheting my granny squares and maybe hopefully even other projects um, that I come across. I just want to be able to invite everyone to follow along in my journey. Um, as a person who has never really felt like she belonged anywhere, um, this is my corner of the world where I get to um, invite in any who want to come in and enjoy what I like, which is, creating things and being crafty and crocheting and sewing and making things and whatever that may be. And so, um, with a little bit of practice and patience and through the YouTube community, which I am so grateful for because if it wasn't for people who are just as passionate about what they do and feel compelled to share um, how to go about it, I wouldn't know what to do either. So, it's a wonderful platform. Um, I enjoy it very much. I am grateful to everyone who helps me out through videos and tutorials.
So hopefully, I will have another video for you with more footage as to how I'm progressing with this cardigan. And, I hope that you continue to come along with me on this journey. Um, I will probably do, maybe I'll post something on another video during the weekend, if not, maybe next week. Um, but in the meantime, thank you for being here. Thank you for staying this far in the video. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Um, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful and safe weekend. And I will see you in my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.